Okay, good morning. You are tuned into 1100 WSGI, and this is Lee Marie with the Go Show. I'm so glad you all could join us today, and I hope that you were tuned in to hear Brother John Briggs the last hour because he had lots of great messages for us. And if you missed any part of that, remember it is on Facebook and on YouTube. So right now, go ahead, please share this show so that other people know what's going on. We are going to have some special guests coming on, and we're going to be talking calendar too because there are so many wonderful ways to festivate still. And happy Christmas Eve to everybody. And I'm going to open this up in a prayer. So, Stephen, who's on his phone? There you go. Ah, yes. All right. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for Jesus. And a happy birthday, Jesus, and happy Christmas Eve to everybody. We just ask you to take this show exactly where you want it to go. We love you. We praise you. We need you in the mighty and matchless name of Jesus. Amen. Oh, there you go. There's your microphone.
Thank you for the microphone.
Okay, you're welcome. You go ahead and pull that microphone right to the edge of the table. I'm going to have Stephen out here for the first half of the show because we're going to be talking about some calendar items, but then also he has some other Christmas related, really cool stuff that he was telling me. And I said, you know what? You need to come on air and tell the rest of the world that. So I'm going to have him do that as well. But first, we're going to do calendar items while, while we get going here. All right. So, as you guys know, Travis Price Park is still up and running, and that's going to be up and running through Sunday night. So, I believe it's like 5:30 to 9. I saw one thing that said 5:30 to 8:30. So, 5:30 to 8:30 or 5:30 to 9. But you can go on the City of Springfield Facebook page and check that out. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Facebook page because I did share a bunch of things last night and early this morning so that you could see that. So my Facebook page, my profile picture is a round circle. It's a white circle that in the middle of it, it says rule number 1 in black letters. And then it says put God at the center of everything. And so that is my Facebook page. And sometimes you do have to scroll through a little bit of stuff here. I'm just going to go straight down. So there's the first picture right there. That's our stage at Well in the Square, which I love it so much. I was showing John that, and Stephen, I don't know if you got to hear because I know you were driving here, but we're going to do some Saturday singings. We're going to do some gospel singings on that stage. So really looking forward to that. So there's the video right there of John. But then I'm going to scroll down here to where we have a bunch of events coming up. So I'm going to go down to the second annual Robertson County Youth Deer Hunt. Okay, that's not until January 10th, but I just want to tell you guys right now because it's on a Saturday. It's going to be in Cross Plains, and it's just something you want to get on your calendar. Okay, candlelight services. There's several candlelight services tonight. So go online. You can see, I know that Cedar Hill Baptist is doing theirs at 6 p.m. I know Fluellen is doing theirs at 5 p.m. And so a great way, you guys, tonight to catch a candlelight service is just find one of your local churches. Okay, I'm just going to go right down straight because we have so many things. I'm going to just go straight down the list. Okay, bingo is going to be at the Green Ridge. Well, actually, this is hosted by the Green Ridge Chamber, but it's going to be over at American Legion Post 45. And that is a free event Saturday, February 7th at 2 p.m. Winter Preview Night. Okay, so Long Hollow is doing something Wednesday, January 7th, where you can hear about all the different ministries, and if you want to be involved, that's going to be at 5:30 p.m. I know a lot of people still here do go to Long Hollow. First day hike. This is something that our parks department in the state of Tennessee does every New Year. They do these free hikes in the parks. And so there's the link there. So if you're interested in, and that's a great way, guys. Again, it's the new year. We want to make some resolutions to be healthier and happier. And one way is to get walking, right? So take a hike, Mike. All right, there is there we go. The Fluellen Candlelight and Communion Service tonight with acoustic Christmas carols. And then let's see. Oh, there, Ebenezer Baptist Church, which is our favorite place to go see Brother T's bands that he brings here. They are actually doing a morning service tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So it says, join us to celebrate the true meaning of Christmas at Ebenezer Baptist Church, 6028 Ebenezer Road in Greenbrier. I'm glad they got that post up. So much coming on. There's a bluegrass convention coming in. See, January 22nd to the 25th. That's going to be in Nashville. Crossroads Revival Worship Experience. This is at Fluellen, but these Crossroads revivals are awesome. And so the next one is February 22nd at 6 p.m. And then also, Fluellen is going to be doing a New Year's Eve service, and it's called Church and Chill. And this is going to be obviously on December 31st at 7 p.m. And it said, come ring in the new year with your friends and family. And they're going to, okay, here we go. Low key, come as you are kind of night. They're going to do fireworks at midnight. Uh-oh. Better get Harvey ready. He'll be able to hear that from where we are. They're gonna have games and fun and food, and just a lot of fun, a fun little thing. So that's really cool. That's gonna be on New Year's Eve. So, like I said, there's a whole bunch of stuff, but it's already 10 after, and I want to make sure Stephen has some time to go over his Christmas message. So let me.
Christmas messages.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
do you want to start going over that?
Well, Christmas. Let's talk about Christmas.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. First off, I want to say that Christmas has always been such a wonderful, wonderful experience for me as a child. Way back in the day when I was 3, 4 years old, little children, they can smell Christmas. It's coming around the corner, right? They know, they can feel it, they can smell it. They know it's coming. And little children, one of the traditions in America that we have Christmas is telling children that Santa Claus is keeping a list. And we, everybody, I know, right or wrong, good or bad. It's so cute to think that children are trying to be good because Santa's coming, and it's one of those things that we all love and enjoy about Christmas. It's another auxiliary, I would say, tradition to talk about Santa's list, the naughty and the nice. And it's come up in so many different forms, in so many different ways, in entertainment and in movies, the naughty list, the nice list, and all of these different things. And it just kind of reminds us of our humanity, and it reminds us of the beauty of our tradition. And one of the things to say, we respect our traditions, right? We respect them. Now, whether you are a Christian or not, you love Christmas. Everybody loves Christmas, and you don't have to be a Christian to love Christmas. But if you are a Christian, you get the extra benefit of having a tradition in line with your religion and your beliefs, which is very, very, very rewarding. And I would say we need to respect these traditions. One of the things I saw, and I was a little bit upset, I would say I was a little bit upset, but not too upset because I know the truth about Christmas and the truth about the Christmas traditions. But there has been for many decades now, there's been a trend in the low-level intelligence community trying to tell us that Christmas traditions were stolen from pagan religions. Now, it's already been, can I use the vulgarity of the word debunked? Can I not get cut off the radio for using the word debunked? Is that because that is a bad word, right? Debunked, because everybody who's been caught in a lie, when you've been caught in a lie, you don't like that word debunked, right? And a lot of these people have been caught in this lie, and yet YouTubers are still persistent on the internet even today. I've seen so many new videos come up just today on YouTube alone, talking about how Christmas was basically a stolen idea from pagan religion. Now, it's already been debunked, and if you want to know the truth of this, and I'll just tell you, it's very easy to look up and discover the truth of where the origins of Christmas and how Christmas actually comes about. And every single tradition that we celebrate that is associated with Christmas has its own unique and discrete origin, and you can find that has not been borrowed from any other religion. And so I know it's quaint, and the simple minds like simple answers, but when people use a very wide paintbrush to sort of paint over all the traditions of people and say, oh, they're all borrowing from each other and this and that and the other, and none of it is real, this is not true at all. Every single religion and tradition has its own origin, has its own discrete origin for its traditions. And so it's very disrespectful to the people who came before us and to people of different religions and traditions to talk about them as if they were so, let's say, so weak that they couldn't come up with their own traditions and their own religion. They had to steal it from somebody else. That is so disrespectful and so dishonest, by the way, and lazy, because these people won't take the time to look up original documents and find out where these things come from. And you know what? As somebody who actually spends hours every day reading original documents, going to libraries, looking up libraries online, finding archives, looking at translations from Greek and from Latin and many other languages, and trying to look at the originals as well to see if they match up to the translations in English and discover the truth for myself. And I spend hours and hours a day doing this because I love history and I love discovering the truth. And you can look up any of these things and you can find out that what people are saying online is not true. And so I just want to say, without having spending a lot of time going into all the details, and if somebody wanted me to come back and go through the details of every single thing that's been debunked when it comes to what somebody stole from another religion, which has always been debunked, when I say Christmas is original and it has not been stolen from another religion, and the traditions of Christmas are not from pagan holidays. And listen, Christians, if you were afraid that giving your children presents or decorating a Christmas tree was somehow associated with a pagan religion and you didn't want to do it and you didn't want to do that with your children, I can tell you, you can choose what you want to do with your children, but don't base what you do with your children on lies, because those are lies. They're not the truth. Christian traditions have their own unique and discrete origins, and they were not borrowed from other religions. And a quick and brief look into history will tell you this, but people who are too lazy to look up the real history just sort of use a wide paintbrush to brush all this together and say, oh, no, it's very similar, so it came from this. No, it's not true at all. It has its own discrete, unique tradition that came about in its own way. And you can find out where that is, including the 25th of December. We celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December, right? And some people say, oh, that comes from an ancient religion from Ireland or Scotland or someplace like that. Okay, there's a lot of talk about this. A lot of the times the people will say, oh, that's a Celtic thing. It came from the Celts. Well, understand that the thing they're talking about is not Celtic. It's actually Gaelic, and a lot of people get that wrong. So can you really trust somebody who doesn't know where their own religion comes from and they're trying to tell you where your religion comes from? Okay, they get that part wrong all the time too. But here's another thing I'll say. The 25th of December was chosen by a Christian historian from Rome in the 2nd century AD. And the reason he chose the 25th of December was because at that time, Christians believed that prophets were born on the same day that they died. Okay? Now, they believed at that time that 9 months before a certain date, there would be another date. And they chose that through their research. Okay, they did their research and they researched from their own ideas, from their own, they chose that date because, and it came about because prophets were believed to die on the same day that they were born 9 months later. Now, that's a very strange thing, but it has nothing to do with a pagan religion. It has to do with what Christians believed in the 2nd century and what Christian historians who were working very hard to look up and discover the actual birthday of Jesus and how they figured it out. Had nothing to do with borrowing anything from a pagan religion. This can be looked up. Anybody can find this. You can look up the original documents. They're still available. They're written in Latin, and you can find them. They're also written in Greek as well. But you can find these documents and you can discover where these come from. Please do not believe the lies that you see on the internet when it comes to different traditions. Now, I want to say we have to have respect for all cultures and all people who came before us, including people who say things like, I would say, okay, there's a very disrespectful thing going around on the internet about the pyramids and aliens and how aliens built the pyramids. And I say that's very disrespectful to the hardworking people of Egypt many, many thousands of years ago who actually built those pyramids and worked very hard to figure out how to do it. And it's disrespectful to them, and it's disrespectful to their culture. In the same way, it's disrespectful to say that Christians borrowed all of their traditions from pagan religions. It's not true. And you can look all this up for yourself if you go to original documents. Please do not use TikTok videos to get your history. And if you use TikTok videos to get your history, then you are not delving deep enough into the archives to find out the truth. Because the real story is so much more interesting. The real story has so much color and so much culture involved in it, and there's so much depth, and there's real people behind these things. And it's a very beautiful thing to look up history and to find out who these people are, where they lived, what they're about, and the struggles that they went through in their life. And it really connects us to our humanity. So let's respect humanity. Let's respect the differences in different religions and respect the cultures of other people that came before us, and not brush everything with a very simple-minded, wide paintbrush, and brush everything together like everything's just borrowed from everybody else. It's not true at all. Please have respect for cultures and have respect for history. Love history. Learn about what really happened. The real story is so much more interesting than the lies that you will see on the internet. One of the things I would like to say about Christmas, and one of the most fascinating things to me, and there's an endless possibilities of research that you can do on this, and you can have so much fun researching these things for yourself. And I would say, let's look at a book of Matthew real quick here, where it talks about baby Jesus. And it says in the second chapter of Matthew, it says, "Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, 'Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him.'" That alone, just those two verses alone, say so much. There's so much you can do to research and look into that. Who were these wise men from the east? Now, one of the songs that I loved, and I loved the Mario Alonso Christmas album, and he would always, that album had that song, "We Three Kings of Orientar," and I love that song, right? Now, it doesn't say there were three here, but I love the fact that we put it into three because it's gold and frankincense and myrrh, right? And so there are three gifts, so there are three wise men, right? It's kind of simple, but there may have been more, right? There probably were more. But if you think about this, what a great research project to do, to find out what those wise men would be like, where they came from, where they might have come from, who they were, what they knew, and how they discovered baby Jesus. That whole thing, that whole idea of wise men from the east right there opens up a whole can of worms, in the sense that you can go look into history and try to discover who these people might be, right? And I love that idea. Now that I think that's a legitimate search, right? That's great. And to look into these traditions and find out who were these guys, who could these guys possibly be, and that might end up being a fictional thing. You might be conjecturing who they are, but at least you're showing some respect for good research and looking up something that might be interesting to somebody. You might discover something about wise men from the east that's something in history, and it belongs to a tradition that may not be borrowed or anything like that, but it might belong to an earlier tradition. It might come from Mesopotamia, it might come from Egypt or Africa, and you might learn a lot about those people and those cultures just looking that up. Wise men from the east could be a lot of different places, right? Could be China, right? And so you look up traditions in China and you find out who wise men in China are, but these are all discrete things that come from this one verse. So Lee Marine's just crawling out of the room for some reason. Where'd you go? So I'm still live on the radio, and I'm talking about traditions from the East. Now let's say, where does my love come from? My love for history comes from a long, many years of reading and loving history. I started out going to college in a state far, far away from Tennessee. And I did go to college. I went to a university and I studied. I didn't study history. I studied philosophy. And in one thing I can tell you I learned nothing about philosophy because it's too difficult for me. I couldn't learn anything, but I could say one thing. What philosophy did teach me was one thing in particular, which is very important. It taught me to know baloney when I see it. And so one of the things that philosophy does teach you, it teaches you to discover when people are making it up. And that's why the tradition of philosophy is all about trying to discover truth. It's all about the love of wisdom, which is what philosophy means. And if there's wisdom, there must be some truth somewhere to look up, to analyze. The analytics of truth, or the analytics of things that happen in the world, the phenomena and the tradition, the phenomena, the facts of life, where gravity comes from, all of these things sort of come from wisdom. And wisdom would tell you that we need to weigh the evidence, we need to weigh the facts, and we need to do some research, and we need to figure out what's going on. We need to show a little wisdom. And that shows respect for knowledge, respect for truth. Some people were trying to argue for the last couple of decades that there's no such thing as knowledge. No, these are the same lazy people that don't like truth. They have a disrespect for truth. Because there is a such thing as knowledge. You can learn things. You can learn something. You can learn something about the world, and you can learn something about the history of your people. And you may love that. I did a study on Africa, and I learned that Africa is about a whole bunch of different people that lived in different little areas of the continent of Africa. And they're not one people, but they're many people. And they have different traditions and different religions, and they're not one group of people. Now, some people say, oh, Africa. Oh, African Americans come from Africa. Well, African Americans do come from Africa, but they don't come from the same place in Africa. They come from different places in Africa. And here's another thing. They probably come from a different religion, a different tradition. They have a different king or a different system of a different political system than their neighbors. They're not just all the same. They're all different. And we need to respect their differences, just like we need to respect the differences of people in America, right? We got different people in America that come from different states, and they're different people. They have different beliefs, different political ideas. And we have to have respect for that. And we don't say they're all the same. They're not all the same. And this is why I say we need to respect the differences of people and the differences of religions and the differences in our histories. And we know that they are real histories that we can know and learn. So there is a such thing as truth, there's a such thing as knowledge, and there's a such thing as wisdom, and that's knowing what to do with all the facts, right? Know how to use the facts and how to weigh them. That's what we say when we talk about wisdom. And it's very, 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 very insulting to somebody who spent years sitting in a classroom, listening to lectures, years of reading and writing papers and studying for myself and looking up original documents. It's very disrespectful to us when somebody comes up and says, oh, with a very, very, very thin, oh, those traditions are just borrowed. The aliens built the pyramids because those people weren't smart enough to do it. They were savages. Oh, you know what? All of that is just so annoying and so disrespectful. We can learn things about the world, and we can look up our history and history of our peoples, and we can take pride in our history, and we can take pride in our origins, and we can look up the actual origins of these people and the actual origins of our religions. We don't have to believe these very shallow lies that come from the internet. Please, if you're getting your history from TikTok, please look up the original documents and find out for yourself the truth. And if you believe these people online that say that Christianity or the Christmas tradition came from pagan holidays, you're actually believing a lie, and that's been debunked. And you can look up this stuff for yourself.
Very good. That's good to know. We're talking with Stephen Astaire, and if people, okay, great. I do need to do a couple sponsors real quick. So let me talk about Southside. Southside Drugstore. Have you seen the decorations in the windows?
Yes.
They are so fabulous. I love
Doing a
that.
great job with that. And we know that some of our friends have beautiful items there.
Yes, they do.
Handmade items for Christmas.
That's right. So you can still get, so you can finish your Christmas shopping right there today, right? So many local makers and bakers have their stuff over there. They are at 1000 South Main Street in Springfield. Their store hours are usually Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., but I'm sure they're closing today early for New Year, for what are we on? Christmas Eve. Maybe Linda knows what time they're closing today. Maybe she can find that out before our time is up. And then on Saturdays, they are open 8 to 4. If you want more information, you can visit them at southsidedrugco.com. So it's not just your full service pharmacy, but they also have a lot of gifts from local people, which I absolutely love that. Another place that you can actually do some Christmas shopping today is at UPS Store. And again, not just a place to drop off your Amazon returns, which I'm sure there's a lot of people doing that right now, but you can also get a lot of stuff done. I know their current coupon, I believe, is shredding, which I know a lot of people right now are getting rid of stuff because it's the end of the year. But you know, UPS Store, they can make you business cards, blueprints. They even have notary services. They have just a lot of stuff going on there. They have a wonderful staff, very friendly staff. They're located at 513 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield, same parking lot as HG Hill. You can call them at 615-384-0093. Again, that's 615-384-0093. Make sure you tell them that Lee Marie sent you.
One of the things on the Go Show, we know, Lee Marie, that here on the Go Show, we don't use AI at all. And you can tell we're not AI because we misspeak constantly. We stumble over ourselves. We're not polished. The things we say here are completely our own. We bring our own stuff here. We're not machined. We're not programmed. All we care about is getting well together, and that means mind, body, and spirit. And here on the Go Show, we love the truth, we love wisdom, we love life, we love family, and we love all of the beautiful things that make life worth living here. We have a deep respect for humanity, and we really care about people. We really do. We care about people who are different from us, and we don't put anybody down. We want to say that we have a love for humans. We have a love for people and for humanity. And you know what? We all come at our own pace, right? We all come along in life at our own pace. We have our own struggles. We all struggle. We all have hopes and fears, right? We all have these. We share these things. We have families. We're concerned. We all have either children or grandchildren, right? Or we come from parents and grandparents. So we are the children of parents and grandparents. We are grandchildren, right? So, I've got a great grandfather back in the day who was a coal miner, right? He was a coal miner. A great grandfather was a coal miner. Now, do I have anything related to coal in my life? Nothing at all. The closest I have
You might
to
be getting
coal
some
is
in
an
your
orange.
stocking.
I got an orange in my stocking. That was kind of like a round piece of coal, right?
Oh,
Got
goodness.
my grandmother used to put little oranges
Oh, when
in
your
our
stockings.
stockings, and we hung them over the fireplace. And they were always empty when we went to bed, and then they were full when we woke up. So we knew that Santa Claus had filled the stockings, which is great. I love that. We love that tradition.
Thank you, Linda. She just said that Southside is open until noon today, so you can still get your Christmas shopping in before noon.
Get down to Southside
And
today. before noon.
Crossroads
Yes.
Crossroads Christian Bookstore is open until 2 today.
Crossroads. Yeah, they're
Yep.
open till 2 today, right?
And what you were
And Lee
saying,
Marie, you'll be open at the well.
yeah, Well in the Square.
a
I'm
little
also going to
while.
be at the Well in the Square for a bit because I know a lot of people still want to do some last minute shopping, and I do have gifts in that front area. And also, people are getting gift certificates for wellness. And so I had to read something because when you said that about AI, I posted today on Well in the Square this little thing that I stole from Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. It says, your future doctor is using Chat GBT to pass med school, so you better start eating healthy. And I love that, because we already know that like what 90% of diseases or
it's
whatever
really
are related
bad.
to food.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I put that on the Well in the Square. I shared that because I said we would love to help you at Well in the Square with your 2026 goals because we have coaches in all the fields of nutrition, prayer, strength training, stretching, dancing, happiness. We got a lot of wellness coaches, so it's we would love to help you guys with your goals.
It's kind of funny. We're looking at recording in the recording studio and all that, and recording music. And these days, a lot of stuff is done with computers, and a lot of people are making their own music at home on their computers. And I would say that a lot of the music is good. I mean, the stuff they make sounds good, right? I mean, it sounds good. But the problem with it is that they all use the same AI drummer. So it sounds like the same drummer plays for every single person. Electronic music. It's really kind of ridiculous. And it all starts to sound the same after a while because they're using the same samples. So that's the problem with AI is the human element is not there. And I like to have the human element. When I was talking with John earlier, and you had John Briggs on earlier, the reason why I love his voice is that he is so unique. He brings his own hopes and dreams into his voice. He brings his unique life, all of the things that have happened to him in his life shows up in his voice. You can't get that from a computer, right? You cannot get that from a computer because it takes an individual life with hopes and dreams and tragedies that have happened to him in his life. And he brings all that emotion and he brings all that to his voice. And he sings every line different. He sings every word different. Even if he repeats a chorus, it's different every time because he's emotional the whole time. His emotions are changing and moving the whole time. A computer cannot replicate that.
Yeah.
And so when we look at AI as a thing, it cannot replace the human element, which is so infinitely varied because our life and our tragedies and our feelings and our emotions are always changing. Things are always happening to us, and it's infinitely varied, our human experience, and we share these emotions, we share these experiences together, and we share them coming from our own unique tragedies and triumphs in life. And that's what we bring to our art, our fine art, all of our fine art. When it comes to painting, drawing, comes to singing or dancing, we are bringing all of that to life. And a computer cannot do that. It's just one thing a computer cannot do. And it will never be able to do that because a computer cannot live a sentient existence. It cannot feel pain. A computer cannot feel tragedy. Computer cannot feel triumph. A computer cannot feel love. A computer cannot feel rejection. We feel love and rejection in our life. And you know what? We talk about the holidays here and holiday movies, and why do we love holiday movies? Because they're always a love story. They're always a story about a prince and a princess, right? We love the prince and the princess story because it's about a tragedy and a triumph, right? There's always tragedy and triumph of the human experience. The agony of defeat or the or or the thrill of victory is in every one of our lives and in every one of our stories. And computers cannot feel agony and they cannot feel victory. So AI can never replace the human experience. And so it is less than. It's always does not have the quality that we look for in our art. The very reason we love our favorite songs, the very reason we love our favorite paintings is because they come with a real experience that somebody had. Somebody lived through that experience. The artist and the painter felt rejection. He felt love. He felt the pain and the tragedy of his life, and he felt the thrill of his victories. And that shows up in the brushstroke. It shows up in the paint. It shows up in the voice of the singer, and it shows up in the step of the dancer. All of that is there in our fine art, and computers cannot replace that. They never will be able to do it because they cannot feel like we feel. And this is the important thing to understand. So we can use computers to help us in our daily life. We can use computers to help us in our artwork and even in our research, but they will never replace the human experience. And so it will always lack that. Therefore, the quality of the art that comes from a computer alone will never actually be as good or as attractive as the quality of the artwork that comes from the human experience itself. And it's one of the things that if you are a lover of the humanities like I am, yes, I am a lover of the humanities, that this deep tradition that goes back into the West, and in every single tradition, I would say, in every single culture, there are song and dance. In fact, dance may be the oldest of the fine arts. It really may be. If you really think about it in history and you look back into it, dance may be the original fine art. It really may be. Because if you had nothing else and you were going back to the caveman days, I'd like to think about the caveman days, right? If we're going back to the caveman days, what is the one thing that they would be able to do? Maybe they hadn't developed a flute or a lute, but you could jump around in a very ecstatic experience. You could have dance. So dance may be the earliest form. In fact, I had a teacher in a humanities class that insisted that dance was the first fine art, the original fine art. And because of that, I should tell you about Lee Moraine's dance class, because people are enjoying dance. We just had a dance class up at L&L Markets in Nashville. And it was so much fun. We had it right there in the mall. It's kind of like flash mob dance lessons right there in the mall. So dancing still today is one of the funnest things that anybody can do and everybody can do, and everybody's dancing. I dance in my heart. I dance from my seat right here. I'm dancing right now. I'm so excited. I'm dancing on the inside, as it were, because I love to dance as well. And so to know that dance, or to believe, if I want to believe that dance is the oldest fine art and I'm still doing it today, well, it goes back a long way, doesn't it? Your line dance students are really enjoying dance. I know that. And your classes, when do you have your line dance class?
Get my microphone back on here. Line dances, you can do the classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m., or Tuesday nights at 5:30. We're going to add some classes in the new year, so if there's particular days that you're hoping that we add, please feel free to text me, because we're making our catalog right now. So we want to make it a great year. And, human connection is so important, guys, and there's nothing like, just doing activities together. And so I also want to remind you that the library and the senior center are also wonderful places to make connections and do classes. I do want to give the hours for the library because they are closed today and tomorrow. So the 24th and the 25th, they are closed. On New Year's Eve, the library is closing at noon. And of course, on Thursday, New Year's Day, the library is absolutely closed. But they do have these colorful calendars that you can pick up and check out what classes they are. If you're new to town, our library is not your normal library. It's more of an activity center, really.
I love the library, and we got to respect our libraries, don't we? We have to have a deep love for our libraries, because it's at our libraries we find original documents. It's at our libraries where we can discover all of the things that people have said, all of the knowledge of the world and everything anybody has ever said is in a library right now. And so whether you go to a library, like I go to the library locally here like 3 times a week at least, because I'm always getting new books there from the library. I'm studying history, constantly studying history. It's one of my favorite pastimes. It's what I love to do because I love to discover things. I love to discover where things have come from.
And one thing I want everybody to discover is J.C. James. Now he's going to come on, but I was hoping that you could just slide over and be a
You really
part
want
of
me to
that
say?
interview.
I think I should just let him come in here because
Well, I'm going to have him
take
here
over this
and
whole
you here.
desk. I don't need to be in
Okay.
the way. Oh yeah, he's got so much to tell you.
So
And
we're going to
I'll-
bring that chair in. So just
I'll
slide
stay off
over.
to the side.
Stay off to this side, Stephen.
I will stay off to the side and let Jesse James come on in.
Roll in this way, Stephen. Okay. While he's coming in,
Jesse
I do
Cole.
want to.
Jesse Cole James.
All right. Well, they're coming in. I do want to remind you guys that the Americans for Prosperity for Robertson County, they are going to be having their interview. They're inviting everybody to this 2026 legislative preview. And what this is on Saturday, January 3rd from 8:30 a.m. to 9:40 p.m. They're going to have Senator Kerry Roberts and also Representative Sabi Dak Kumar give an update on the 2026 legislative preview. So if you want to hear what's going to be happening in your area of Robertson County, this is a great thing to come to. You can RSVP at their website, which is AFPT, which stands for Americans for Prosperity Tennessee .events. So Americans for Prosperity, they have these in several states, most states I think, but this particular one in Tennessee is going to be doing a free breakfast. They are providing this breakfast. It is the first Saturday of January, which is January 3rd, and this is at 805 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. Everything is free. The meeting's free. The breakfast is free. And thank you, Americans for Prosperity, for hosting that with our local legislators. All right. We have Jesse Cole James, also known as J.C. James, who has come in. And I had asked him to cue up the Heaven song because this particular song is one that we met Jesse just a couple weeks ago. We were at the Music City Christian Fellowship event, and we heard him do a song, and it was actually the song, I think Heaven was the first song that you wrote. Was it the first song? And this chair goes up if you want to. There's a little latch on the side. If you want to make it come up, Stephen, you can help him with that. While he does that, though, I'm going to talk about a couple of our sponsors because I want to be able to just go straight on through. So, Ridgetop Mower of Springfield, this is a great place to go if you need to get your mower serviced or if you just need to get it into hibernation mode. Go ahead and talk to Gary Ristelli. He is right there between the Baldwin Barbecue and Ace Hardware. The phone number is 615-855-0044. He can help you out if you want to do your own DIY project. He can recommend parts and stuff like that. You get 10% off parts and service if you mention Lee Marie. So you want to make sure you get on by to Ridgetop Mower of Springfield. They are right there. Very easy to find on Matthews Street. I believe it's 1101, right? Matthews Street? 1101. Okay, Ridgetop Mower of Springfield. Okay, our last sponsor that I want to talk about is Coldstream Christian Camp. Guys, you got to get your dates on the calendar now. They are in Adams at 4730 Goodman Road. Go and take a tour. Give them a call. Make sure that they're there. The phone number is 615-696-2208. Again, that's 615-696-2208, or you can visit their website, coldstreamchristiancamp.org, and make sure you get your date on the calendar because 2026, once it starts, boy, it just keeps on rolling. Okay, I got all my sponsors done, so I can now talk with Jesse Cole James, also known as J.C. James. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let me turn your mic on. There you go.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
All right, very good. So I wanted to have him on because I know U-Turn Laverne interviewed you on her show, which is the early time.
She's awesome.
Yes, she is awesome. And we hope you're enjoying your little break, U-Turn Laverne. But she'll be back on Friday, guys. She's going to be interviewing Shannon Baumgardner on Friday. So you guys have that to look forward to. However, today we have J.C. James on because this coming Saturday, everybody's going to get an opportunity to see your show.
Oh
Are
my-
you excited?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know this because of you guys and the people who attend line dancing and the it. I picked up a lot more fans of my music. They can't wait to hear me live, and I told Becky, I said I was practicing yesterday, and it's amazing because to see what God's doing right now is just blowing my mind away. It's just
Awesome.
really, um,
Come closer to the mic.
okay.
Okay.
Because I mean, he's been, a lot of doors have closed.
Uh-huh.
I've seen a lot of scammers. I've seen a lot of, um, like I said, fake managers, fake everything. That's all I've been getting. Just people looking to take money. That's all they're doing. And but uh, where I was so ready to quit music, and that's when I don't know if it was something that God wanted me to experience, but I went into that 3-day coma, and then after I came out of it, the first song that literally come out a week later was "Heaven's Open Door."
And that's
And
a song that Stephen went up after he heard you sing that. Stephen was the first one in
he
line, I
was the
guess.
first one up there at my table, and I was like, okay, he's not part of MCCF, I don't think, but he likes my song, so this is a good thing. Then all of a sudden, after he did it, almost 20 other people kept coming up to me, and
Uh-huh.
it was like, this is one of the best songs we've heard written,
Yeah.
and but
So I want to play it. Can we play it
yeah,
on, and then
yeah,
don't have it up quite as loud as last time because
yeah, because I don't know
don't
what
want to
her
distort
quality,
it.
because my phone I
Yeah.
lost signal for some reason when I got here.
Okay, no worries. So we're going to play a little snippet of that so we don't get blocked on Facebook. We'll just play a little snippet of a few of the songs that you'll be able to hear this coming Saturday night at Well in the Square on the beautiful stage that we have. And it's only a $5 show, guys. And we're saying potluck is optional. So if you want to bring a snack to share, you are welcome to do that. We will be exactly right behind Crossroads. So if you go in Crossroads, you go down the stairs, and you will see the beautiful ballroom with the stage. If it's not coming up, that's okay. You want me to try it on my phone?
Yes, please.
Okay, I will try that on my phone. Okay, while I do that, y'all can talk about.
Yeah, but when you came up there, that actually said a lot to me, because you were somebody that I didn't, know. It was like somebody that really likes music, and you can tell, and that to me tells me that I did something good. I picked the right song. Everybody was doing Christmas, so I didn't know how my song was going to work, and um, but then having people literally say that the song, had a message. It had um, which I like about it, because at the end there, at the bridge, I talk about brothers and sisters, don't let the faith bend and everything. Those words when I sing them, it really means a message to it. So, and that's what I'm hoping, that my music somebody will hear me live, and it might, help them.
I was impressed with that song, Jesse, and I was impressed with your voice because like I was talking about John Briggs
Mhm.
earlier. The same thing with you and your music is that you bring your life, your struggles, your triumphs, your tragedies are brought with your voice, and so that is something that, like I said before, a computer cannot do that.
No.
No, a computer cannot feel pain. And I can hear your pain. I can hear your love. I can hear your triumph. I can hear your joys. I can hear your fears. It comes in your voice. It comes through your voice, and you bring that to the table. And not only do you have a great voice
Thank you.
and I mean technically excellent voice and a great sounding voice, but you bring that extra layer of passion with it, and that's what brings a song to life. And I say that's what we're looking for when we hear a song, when we listen to music. We're looking for a human experience that's being shared with us.
Right.
And it comes through that extra quality, that extra humanity that you bring to it, above and beyond the technical quality, above and beyond the arrangement and the music. All the arrangement is great. The musicians are great. All the instruments are great. The recording is good. The production is good. But we have to have that human quality
Yeah.
that's brought to that voice that comes out in that song. It's in the words and it's in the voice, and that goes above and beyond the technical. And that's something we look for when we're listening to a song.
All
And
right.
I love that about you, and I love how you bring that to your music.
Thank you.
Okay, I got this song queued up. I'm actually going to play "When Two Hearts Collide."
Yeah, I can't wait to do that for you
Because
live. Oh my gosh.
this song is called "When Two Hearts Collide," and when I heard it, because I've done a lot of wedding lessons, for people's first dance, and when I heard this, because I hear a lot of the same songs that I
Yeah.
have to choreograph to, which is great, because I just whatever. But this song, I'm like, okay, if anybody's getting married, use this song because no one else has heard
Can I
it.
say something real quick about
Yes,
that?
yes.
When I wrote that, I wrote it for Becky because which is my wife, and we never had an actual reception or a wedding. So we got
Talk real close
oh,
to the mic.
we got married in a courthouse.
Uh-huh.
So and it was one of those fast things we had to do. But it was when I wrote this, I was thinking, it would have been awesome to dance to with my wife to this song,
Uh-huh.
and when the words started coming out, I was like, man, this is really nice. I can't wait to till it's finished. And when we got it finished, and yesterday I was I was practicing for Saturday, and I literally grabbed her hand and brought her over to me.
Oh, we started dancing.
And no,
Oh,
I
okay.
was holding
Okay.
her hand and,
Ah.
and singing it to her.
Oh,
So,
very sweet.
and I was like, that's when I started thinking, wow, this really is a
Oh, I see.
wedding song for the
It
first dance.
It is.
But I really like it. I like it
All
a
right,
lot.
let me see how if we can get this to go here.
Sunrise creeping through my window pane.
It's
The morning, same old rain. My coffee cold, my thoughts a mess. Life feels like a test. Then I saw you walking by. A sudden sparkle in my eye. When two hearts collide, yours and mine, worlds ignite. Feels so right.
The song makes me want to cry. I'm just going to tell you that
Yeah,
right.
you're listening to Jesse. That's Jesse Cole James, and we just had to play a snippet of it there so it won't get cut off. He does own that. That is his song, but we don't really play a lot of the music on there because Facebook will cut that off, and we don't want the Facebook page to get cut off. So y'all can watch us here, but just to give you a sample of what he sounds like there. And
With
if you
his
want to come
amazing
see him
voice.
live, we will put him in the mix. So when you listen to this radio station, you will hear his songs come up in the feed because we are going to put them in there. We already have put them in there. But when we do a Facebook recording, we're not really allowed to play copyrighted music, even if the person playing it is the one who owns the copyright.
right.
Yeah, they'll cut you off,
Yes,
right? They will.
that is true.
They're very, very, very sticklers on that. So, but anyway, that's Jesse Cole James, known also JC James. And if you want to see him, he is going to be at the Will in the Square the Saturday after Christmas, coming
7
up in just
p.m.
a few days here. Just a few days, he's going to be there. Saturday after Christmas at 7 o'clock at Well in the Square, Springfield, downtown. That's the building 600
Yeah, 600 South Main Street.
600 South Main Street at
Right where
Well in the Square
Crossroads is.
this Saturday at 7 p.m. Come on out to
$5,
see him.
$5.
$5 at the door is all it is. And believe me, and there's going to be food there. They're going to have food free. You can have snacks for free.
And you can bring, it's
gonna
an
be a-
optional potluck, so you can bring a snack to share if you'd like.
It's just a great time to get together with him. It's going to be informal, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Family and friends.
And I'll
are
teach a
coming.
little line dance class at the beginning.
She might teach a line dance class.
Oh,
That she's written
I
some
will.
choreography for one of his songs as well. So if y'all come on out to see Jesse Cole James, JC James at Well in the Square
And
this
if you guys
Saturday
want
night.
to see some or listen to some more of his other music, you can go to Reverb Nation and put in JC James.
Band.
And there's how many songs
You
on
have to
that?
put JC James Band.
Oh, JC
Because
James.
they mix me with for some reason Google mixes me with Jesse James Decker.
Oh, okay.
And,
Okay.
So
Okay, so JC James Band. And then how many songs do you have on Reverb Nation?
about 120.
About 120. Wow. And how many have you written since you came out of that 3 day?
90.
Okay, so this is a God thing. Okay, he came out of his coma in spring
Yeah.
of this year, and 90 songs came to him. So that's why I know it's a God thing. And not all of them are gospel. You know, there's some gospel and some secular, but we're going to definitely put the gospel ones on this station
It's
because
more outlaw country.
Outlaw
So
country.
that's what it usually is. But
Oh, this is another one I love. Stand for the flag, kneel
Yes.
in prayer. I'm going to play a snippet of that one too.
I want to say something real quick about
Yes,
that.
yes.
The pastor that I met over at
Arlen,
the-
Dr. Arlen.
Yes. I like him. I like he's a really nice guy. But when I told him about that song, it's the truth. I you know I was in the Navy, but I don't like how I think it was like what was it 2 years ago, something like that, 2 or 3 years ago, when you see professionals kneeling during the Pledge of Allegiance or the national anthem,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for people before me in Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Civil War, they fought for this flag,
Amen.
to be where everybody can be united, but they want to kneel to it because they're not happy what the government's doing. That's not the government, no, the flag had nothing to do with it. People died because of that flag, and then it upsets me too. But they want to kneel for the flag. They want to stand to instead of bowing to Jesus, who actually died for them to live and have eternity.
Mm-hmm.
That bothered me, so I had to
Right.
write it.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point. And even, you know what else? I mean, and this doesn't get talked about that much, but the Olympics.
Yep.
When there are people that are wearing the USA, and then I'm sorry, but if
Yes.
you're on Team USA,
Yeah.
if you like another country more, you go there and you have them sponsor you.
I know. Yes, exactly.
I don't. I would not allow that. I mean, the minute they did that, they're like, you're off the team. Anyway, okay. Let me please
I agree.
stand
I
for the
agree.
flag, kneel in prayer.
All right, so we're going to hear another snippet here. Of course, this is a great song by Jesse James,
And I'll be doing that
the
Saturday, too.
J.C. James Band.
The sun paints gold on the open plains, where freedom whispers through the grain. A quiet hymn in the morning air. I stand tall because I care. Stand for the flag in the light of day. Kneel in prayer when words can't stay. Bow to our Lord in the stars above. Faith and country bound by love.
All right, you're listening to the J.C. James Band, and you can look at them online. Like I said, it's Facebook right now. We don't want that recording to get cut off, and so we can only play a snippet of it. But what a beautiful song! What a beautiful song, and what a
I'm so
beautiful
excited.
voice! And
I really-
you really bring your experience, your feelings, your patriotic feelings from serving our country in the Navy.
Which, by the way, thank
Veteran
you.
yourself.
Thank you for serving, and also thank you for my freedom.
I gave up music to begin with, and to join the military. I could have went into the Army, but because all my uncles, my grandfathers, my aunts all went into the Army. They're all Army. So, but I wanted to be different, and I liked everything that the Navy represented. So that said a lot to me. And when I got in there, immediately they made me the yeoman, and so yeah. And people don't know what a yeoman is. I'm a pencil pusher. That's what I was, and but it was a very important job actually for being called a yeoman. So I earned that in basics, but I quit music. I started music. I had a great career, starting out in rock, opening for Poison, Warrant, Cinderella. I mean, that's pretty wild for a young guy, and but I don't know. I just wanted to quit. I just wanted to serve, and I believe Desert Shield started, and so I wanted to be, to help out any way I can. And I got out and had kids, and I still didn't want to do music. I actually just was not ready. I was burned out from what for the 2 years that I did. I was burned out. I really was. I was tired of traveling. I was tired of everything. And being young, I wasn't. A lot of people say, well, you're living a dream. Not really. It was hard. It was really rough, and but I'm glad I quit, and did what I did, because I didn't get back into it until my wife now heard me sing for the first time. And she's the one who pushed me back into it. And I
Well, you
never,
do have amazing
I
voice.
didn't write again either. until after that coma.
Wow.
I didn't want to write. I was doing other people's songs that they wrote.
Oh my goodness, it's 9 o'clock. Okay, Linda's telling me it's 9 o'clock. I want to say, do you know Wanda and Jason Johns?
Yep.
All right, they're saying good morning. They're watching us live. So remember, guys, please share this show. And we're already out of time.
She actually does harmonies for me.
Oh, she does. Okay.
vocals.
Okay, great. So we hope to see you all out at Well in the Square this Saturday, December 27th for JC James concert, and it's going to be $5, and 7 p.m. is the time. So I know a lot of you are out of town, but I know a lot of you have people who are in town. So this would be a great little concert to bring them to in the square. So hopefully we will see you guys all soon. I'm going to have to sign off, but if you missed any part of the show, remember you can go on YouTube or Facebook and watch it. And then again, please share it. All right, guys, you've been listening to Lee Marie on The Go Show. This has been 1100 WSGI. Make it a great day and Merry Christmas. We will not be here tomorrow because we will be festivating. So I'll probably see some of you out tonight at the various candlelight services. And so make sure you, remember the reason for the season. Get out there and celebrate and get by Travis Price, too, and see those beautiful lights. God bless. Make it a great day, 1100 WSGI.